Haven't earned it.
Mount Isa, today very much a ghost town rather than Australia's largest copper producer and major source of lead and zinc. The industrial dispute stretching into months of deadlock has caused a complete shutdown of underground mining, and the resultant economic repercussions are little short of disastrous. Every working day this huge plant lies idle costs Australia a loss in export income of £135,000. Obviously millions of pounds are involved. Intervening, the Queensland Government issued emergency orders in council, principally aimed at preventing Labour Council President McMahon and unofficial miners leader Pat Mackie from returning to Mount Isa after trade union fundraising discussions in Sydney. This memorial to Campbell Miles, who first discovered mineral in the Mount Isa area in 1923, still stands. In those days, Isa was a cattle town and transit point for the widespread stations throughout the Channel country. It was, and still is, a hard, rugged expanse, which could perhaps best enjoy the typical description of a thirsty, brown land. The hill country on the outskirts of Mount Isa where prospectors searched for the bonanza, and which, when it was found, turned out to be a virtual mountain of copper. Active mining commenced in 1932, and the first signs of a vast industry began to show. Isolated from civilization, the attractions of big money brought miners to work, and then to stay with their families as the town continued its growth. Both underground and open cut mining operated concurrently, steadily increasing to an annual output of 70,000 tons of copper, 60,000 tons of lead, and 5 million ounces of silver. 600 miles away in Townsville, a specially built £5 million copper refinery to produce ingots for local and overseas markets. A special rail link was constructed to transport raw material from the mines. Today, no trains are running, and although the refinery is still operating, its future remains uncertain. At June of last year, the Mount Isa Mines Company had over 4,000 employees on the payroll, the largest workforce in its history. Today, the plant is still and may remain that way if the miners' hero of the hour, Pat Mackie, gets his way. In his words, "No one will go back until we see the £8 bonus payment lifted to £17 12 6. Many claim there are disturbing signs of communist influence above and below the surface. With the suspension of the government's orders in council, baseball-capped Mackie, who had returned to the town secretly despite the ban, is seeking reinstatement with the company. Mount Isa Mines Managing Director Foote thus far has been adamant in his refusal of this. Preparing for compulsory conferences aimed at settlement, representatives of unions involved, Jack DEVERAUX, Harry PEEBLES and COL EMERY. Another official involved, the President of the Queensland Trades and Labour Council, Jack EGERTON, here with Pat Mackie. Australia's export copper price is £300 per tonne. Now we're importing it at £600 per tonne. Miners have lost nearly £4 million in wages. Just part of the tragedy of Mount Isa.